Hi, Jane, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. And everyone, I'd like you to introduce you to Jane Mann. She's the Managing Director of Cambridge Partnership for Education. And just tell us a little bit more about yourself and your work.
Hi, Genevieve. Yes, so Cambridge Partnership for Education is a joint unit between Cambridge University Press and Cambridge Assessment that focuses on education reform work. So we are the unit that brings together the expertise and the skills from across Cambridge to support ministries of education in their change programs and their reform programs. So whilst we are based between the press and assessment, we are looking to work as widely as possible across the rest of the university, across Cambridge and beyond, to make sure that we can put together programs that really do solve ministry's biggest challenges in education.
Wow, that's amazing. Super
Yeah.
exciting. Thank you. Yeah, so piggybacking on that idea of reform and change, what do you think are the new exciting models of digital education, either currently or future vision? Yeah.
I think that we've had a bit of a laser focus on that recently, haven't we, with the school closures? And I think that actually some of the things that we thought were going to be silver bullets, or at least ministries might have thought were going to be silver bullets, haven't proved to be that. I think actually what we're recognizing is that when you use technology in quite a focused way, it can have some of the biggest impact. So certainly for me, the future of digital assessment is something that is really key. And we've seen some very interesting movements towards continuous formative digital assessment and supporting teachers in how to do that in a really productive and effective way. Actually, for me, some of the most exciting things that happened during lockdown around the use of technology were not about computers. They were about using old technologies in places where that was the most appropriate one to use. So lots of great examples of where radio and television have been used. And I think what that shows us is that it's not necessarily about the format, it's about how it's used and how much access it has already and reach within the system.
Yeah, that's true. So I know in Antigua as well, they use their national TV channel to deliver. What are the challenges, even though we're talking about the positive, what are the challenges that we are facing then?
I think the biggest challenge is the equity and access one, actually, that digital technology can increase that divide. It's what Mike Tricano from the World Bank talks about, the Matthew principle, which is that those that have the most get more and those that have the least lose more. And I think we've really seen that happening with education, which is why we need to look at technology as a very, very broad church, and that it needs to be the most appropriate technology available. I also think we've got a real issue around teacher training. So supporting teachers and understanding what effective digital technology in education looks like, how to weave it into their practice, particularly in countries where there's been no pre-service training in that. The people delivering the pre-service training had no training in that. The teachers themselves were never taught that way. Unrealistic to expect them to be able to pivot, particularly at a point when they have less support than normal because they may not be accessing their sort of community in the same way. So I do think that teacher development is a big challenge, but I think that actually technology offers us a real opportunity there, because we know that even in areas of low resource, where the resource exists, it usually resides with the teachers. And so to build really effective communities of practice around teaching effectively with digital technology, I think is a really exciting opportunity.
Yeah, it is. It's even though it's a challenge, actually, working with the sort of pre-service teachers or trainee teachers is actually the probably biggest opportunity we have, because they're the ones that actually are going to change.
Yes.
And so yeah, so I love that. I think that's wonderful.
I've heard of some great models recently about the idea of almost setting up almost like a customer service center for teachers, where they could get instant feedback and instant support from a community of peers in the moment around how to change what they're doing to make it more effective.
So what do you think the role of DEFI could be in taking forward all of these opportunities and also looking at all of the challenges that we have?
I think the most important thing right now that we need to do is, just as you've said, Genevieve, is we need to bring expertise, experience, skills, and hard work together. And so that it really genuinely becomes magnified and really as useful as it can be. So I think one of the biggest roles of DEFI is to join people up. And there are initiatives going on at the moment which have sprung up quite organically all over the world of people sitting in pockets, researching, talking, analysing. And as much as possible, we need to turn that into a much more joined up conversation, because not only does industry have the opportunity to support with things like funding, but also to be able to point to the future direction of where our education needs to lead to. Because effectively, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create societies that are productive, that can operate as effectively as possible in whatever's coming up on the horizon. And that means engaging with industry. So I think that's a very strong role as well, the link between academic and industry.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for your time, Jane.
Okay, thanks, Genevieve.